Hey, my beautiful people, I hope you're doing super good. So, today I'm here to talk to you about nutrition in the ascension process. So, it's really something that people don't consider, but when we are going through an awakening and a spiritual path, when we are following a spiritual path, is very normal that we start to have nutrition changes. So for example, in the beginning of my journey, I started to feel allergic to some food, to some things that I used to do a lot of time. I felt compelled to change my nutrition. I felt compelled to stop eating some things and start eating different things. And I would like to talk about a little bit why this happens, because I think it is important for people who are in a spiritual journey to know about it. So the first thing that I would like to say is that whenever your consciousness is expanding, your body is also gonna suffer some changes, right? So the consciousness is not something that is all only in the mind. It's also in the whole body. Your whole cells, they have consciousness with them, and the amount of cells of your body is what builds your whole consciousness, because you absorb information also through the skin and through your eyes and through different parts of your body, right? When you feel like, if you put your hand in your knee, you feel that touch. So that's an information that is coming into your body, and that part of your body is probably going to interact with your brain to bring that information forward. So another thing that happens is that your nervous system, our nervous system, is prepared when we are in a carbon-based structure, which is a more dense structure that holds low vibrational energies. And when I say low vibrational energies, you can read as fear, anger, guilt, shame, all these feelings, emotions, they're actually energy in motion that we experience when we are in a 3D base reality. Okay, so when you start to ascend, and this ascension only happens through self-love, right? And the self-love is always the first step. You start to see, oh my God, my reality, I don't fit in this reality anymore. I don't know what to do. You feel lost. You go through sometimes a dark night of the soul. And if you don't know what it is, you can look at the other video. But basically, when you start loving yourself, your body start to respond to it like a flower, like start to blossom, right? And through unconditional love frequencies, we are able to hold more light into our carbon-based body that started change for a crystalline base type of body. So it's like, imagine that your bones are made by a super hard and thick structure. Okay, this is what holds the dense energies. And inside of your bones, you also have ancestral memories, ancestral emotional baggage from your ancestrals and past lives. This is also held in your DNA. If you want to read more about this, you can read about epigenetics. But basically, trauma from past lives and from generations are stored in our DNA, and it gets into the spinal cord in our bones. So when we start to liberate this information, which is what the awakening is about, the awakening is about liberating all the low vibrational energy. So you're going to start facing situations in your life that you stored in your bones from past trauma in your childhood, sometimes in the past life. And some people, they have the capability to come back in past lives and relieve that trauma and heal that trauma with or without a therapist. So and those patterns, the more you go releasing them and you go getting more into alignment with your higher self and with your soul through self-love, you go increasing your vibration. So if you want to know about the vibration levels, you can take a look at and research in Google about the the level of consciousness of David Hawkins. So he created a tab that is actually showing different levels of consciousness, and they are very related to the emotional stage that you are. So if you are in a state of anger, you're going to have a frequency of energy, and it's related to a level of consciousness that you are. The more you increase your level of consciousness, and the more you increase your emotional state by healing those experiences, painful experiences in the past that you're still feeling and looking for healing in your current reality, the more you ascend. And when we say ascend, is growing your frequency, growing your level of consciousness at the same time. The more you ascend and the more you become aware of other ways of and other experiences that can come through high vibrational experiences, like from joy, from bliss, from abundance, from fulfillment. And that's the objective that our soul is preparing for us. Like, that's the major objective that each soul wants for their for themselves in each incarnation, right? So it's your goal to achieve that state in each life. And if you didn't do, you're going to leave some lessons for the next life. You're going to come back, and then you have to do it all over again until you learn. But basically, how does impact our nutrition? Because in the moment that you are in a low density, which means connected to this low vibrational experiences, and you also have those in your body, these are weighting you down. It's really weighting you down, and your body needs more energy to maintain those energies inside of your body, because it's like you're storing garbage, let's say, because it's really like the dense energies, the fear, anger, it's like garbage. It doesn't, of course it has a purpose for us, that is to learn lessons, but it's like the garbage, like it's like your home, right? You use stuff and then you have your garbage. You're not gonna keep your garbage forever, like for 20 years, 30 years. That thing that no longer serves you, you're going to put it out, right? But we didn't learn how to do it since our childhood. So what happens is, when we have a painful experiences, sometimes we repress the emotions, and we don't deal with it, and it goes accumulating, and it goes to the next life too, and it goes from our ancestrals, and that stays and is passed by generation through generations, right? You're going to pass it to your daughter, your patterns, and to the next generation. So when we heal those, the body started to have more energy. So you're not going to crave more processed food like sugar, like high carbs, and a lot of protein anymore, because your body doesn't need that to live. Your body is only going to crave what it needs. It's intuitive. Your body is intuitive enough to know what kind of energy it can have access to. Of course, if you always had like a super high protein and high carbs diet and never experienced what it means to eat like a vegetable, you're probably not gonna crave that. But at some point in your life, your body's gonna be so sick that you're gonna feel, your doctor is gonna say, hey, you have to go for a diet because you have like cholesterol and all this stuff, and then you have to experience what is to eat high vibrational foods. And why vegetables are high vibrational food? Because they are alive. They contain energy in their cells. Like when you plant something, they have the sun, right? And what is the effect of the sun in your life? When you go outside and you get outside in the sun, isn't it pleasant? Doesn't give you a good energy, a good vibration? That's the same with the plant. So that plant that comes from the sun, that were planted in the sun, and this applies to the dark shade. Like the dark shade doesn't have the same energy, but the plants that were planted in the sun, that received love, that received that fresh air, they're gonna have a different effect in your body, because your body is made from the same matter, right? If we see why when we decompose, we merge with the soil, because we are soil at the end, right? The matter that our body is composed, the atoms, and if all the structure of our body also exists in nature. So it's like we are eating our own kind, let's say. But not like cannibalism, but it's really like we are eating what we are made of. So we are giving to the body more of what we already are. So that's why vegetables really bring us to a state, a more elevated state, and reduce emotional turmoil, because it's a lot for the body to process. It's a lot of toxins for the body to process, high processed foods. So that's why when you're in ascension process, you crave more light energy, light. Ascending is the path from from darkness, low vibrational energy, high density energy, to light, low density energy, where it's really you feeling light. And that's why a lot of people lose weight on their way, because the weight is not just physical, is also emotional weight, is also past life trauma that you're letting go, and that energy that was stored in your cell was weighting you down. You're letting go of that. So in a spiritual path, you're probably gonna feel like eating more light. And for example, if you tested take one day that you are super happy, like you're super happy, you have this amazing energy. This day you're gonna feel less hungry than in the day that you were depressed and crying and whatever the state you are that is very low. And why? Because the high vibrational energy, which is joy, bliss, happiness, love, they feed your cells. They feed your body. And you're not going to feel so hungry because your body is feeding from that energy. Your body has enough energy. Why our body feels hungry? Because we need nutrition. We need to create more energy. So if you need fast energy, that you have a lot of density in your body gonna probably crave sugar, carbs, and protein. But if you have a very high vibrational energy, your body's gonna feed from that. So you're gonna probably spend hours without eating anything, without getting hungry, right? You're still gonna need nutrition, but the nutrition you're gonna need is really just to nourish the body. It's not to bring pleasure to the body, because you're gonna find pleasure otherwise. Sometimes we look for high processed foods because they bring a different pleasure to the body that we are not experiencing in our reality at that moment. So the sugar crave is what? Is us needing love, needing to experience this pleasant sensation of eating like a chocolate cake. Oh my God, is amazing. But after a while, when you are used to eat just high vibrational foods, not processed food like natural foods, you're not going to feel drawn to a chocolate cake anymore, because you're going to find other ways to have pleasure. So that's what happens when you start to ascend and when you are in an awakening process. So I have a lot of videos talking about nutrition. You can look at that. And I hope this video have helped you somehow. If it did, give us a like, share, and subscribe to help the channel. And I see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.